and welcome to Pointed Logic Tarot. Please excuse my voice today. I'm getting over yet another cold. But today I wanted to do something fun. I'm zoomed out just a little bit. We'll see if it's enough. But as it gets colder and darker out, as we speak, it has been snowing all day where I live. I wanted to start making videos about something that gets me through these indoor months, which is card games and board games, but we're going to talk about card games mostly. And today I want to talk about one you can play either solo or with as many people as you like, honestly, because the component is each person uses a tarot deck. So this is a modern tarot card game. It is not a classic tarot card game. I'm doing my best to learn classic card games, but they are mostly trick-taking games and not as easy to play with just two people, and I am dragging my partner into most of these. This one today I will do myself, but if you want to see a co-op playthrough or a competitive playthrough, maybe I can get my partner to join me on a video. This game is called Dungeon Solitaire by Matthew Lowes. This game has an easy, medium, and a hard. I'm going to cover the medium in this, but I will link to where you can purchase the rules. It's just a PDF rule book that Matthew made. The easy version you could play with just a deck of playing cards, and then the hard version you either need a custom deck. You can buy one from, I think, Game Crafters, where Matthew sells the one made for the game. Or if you have a tarot deck with lots of extra cards, you can designate those extras to what are in the hard level. But we're going to play the medium, which is a standard tarot deck of 78 cards. I'm going to use the Lighted Window Tarot in my playthrough / example here because the more pippish your deck is, the easier it is to read when you play the game. It is not necessary to use a pip deck. I actually really love using scenic decks. Some of the decks I've really liked using with this game, are things like the Children of Litha Tarot or the Mini Mice Tarot. What else? Just anyone that has kind of an adventurer's theme or a fantasy theme is fun. But I'm going to use this one because the pips are pretty clear, but it's not like just a plain pip deck. So I thought it would be kind of more fun to look at. But you should be able to see as I play how the numbers work. But literally you can use any kind of scenic deck as long as you know what the cards all are. I will do my best to explain a quick rundown of the rules, but I'm not going to get into detail, and I encourage you to look at the rules. Alternatively, I'm always looking for more people to play with, so if you want to join the Sash Witch Discord server, which I will link, it is one of my favorite online places to be, and I would love to play this with you in voice chat or something. The nice thing about this game is because each person uses their own deck, you could play online with Zoom, you could play online just on voice chat, you could play online in pretty much any format, or even if you played the easy version, any kind of online virtual cards could be used. So it's a pretty fun and pretty open game. The version I'm playing, because Matthew Lowes has made more than one, is called Labyrinth of Souls. Dungeon Solitaire Labyrinth of Souls. I haven't played the first version of the game, the first edition, I guess, which is the Tomb of the Kings, I think. It's straight up, it's a pretty straightforward solitaire game. So if you're not super into tabletop role-playing kind of games, you don't have to be to enjoy this game. But if you are into that, you can add a roleplay element if you would prefer. I have done it that way with my partner. So I have the rules pulled up on my computer, which is very fingerprinty. And I'm going to talk about it. I'll just give you sort of a format of how it works, and then I'll just do a playthrough and you'll see it pretty quickly. You might see my mat go back and forth because the game kind of spreads out so that you can see what's going on, because I have a tripod with a limited lift, and I want you to be able to read the cards, because once you get too far away they're hard to see what they are. So the first thing you do with your deck is you pull out all of the cups pip cards except for the ace. You leave the cups face cards, i.e. the court cards, in the deck. The reason you do this is because your cups are your health meter. And you will be taking them out and putting them in order 2 to 10. Again, the aces stay in the deck. The way it works is each of the 4 suits plays a role, and then the majors are special cards for the most part. Oh, no, wait, that's the ace. See, I'm already not following the rules. Okay, there we go. The wands cards are doors in the dungeon you have to break open. The swords cards are monsters that you have to fight. The majors 2 through 10 are mazes that you can get trapped in. You don't necessarily, you can escape them. Let's see. Then the majors 11 through 21 are all special cards as they come up. I will say what they are, but usually my partner and I just keep a little list. After you play it like 2 or maybe 3 times, you know what they are. But we keep a little list on the side. And the thing that sometimes is confusing is this deck, the game uses a Marseille style deck in that strength is at 11. So that card is the potion of strength. So that can be kind of harder to remember if you're using a deck where strength is at 8. And then that's the 8 of mazes. I usually just go by the number. You could do it either way because it's randomized. Okay, so you have your cups, and then you put them in order, 2 on the bottom. Once you get down to 2, you're about to die in your health. And so there are ways you can get your health back. Okay, so we start with the 10 of cups, full health, eager to go into the dungeon. The pentacle suit is treasure you can win, but if you fail to win the card, the treasure is inside of a trap. So this is the suit of traps basically in the game, and you get snapped by the trap and injured. So the 10 of traps, you could win 10 coins or you could be hurt 10 points and die. Let's see. Oh, let's talk about the aces and the courts. So the aces are your 4 torches. And they're in the deck. And whenever you draw one, that torch has blown out. Once you lose all 4 torches, you are lost in the darkness and you can't get out of the dungeon. Let's pull out some court cards. Page. We'll just use these ones. The courts are associated with the same suits, which are, like I said, doors, health, monsters, and traps. The pages are companions. If you draw a page, they become a member of your party at the bottom of the table or your playing space. And they can get killed off, but they offer you 1 point to things. The knights are skills. These are one-off cards that you can give yourself an extra +1. So the Knight of Wands would be a +1 to the doors. So if you're trying to open a door and You miss it by 1. If you play this skill, you only can use it once, but it adds to your overall score to beat the game, or to beat that card. The queens are an insta-win. When you draw this, it's like getting the blessing of a goddess, I think is what it's called in the game. Let's see here. The divine favor of the goddess is what it's called in the rule book. But basically, when my partner and I play, we're like, aha, insta-win. So when you draw this, you beat whatever challenge you draw. The kings are the hoard of treasure, so that's worth 10 points. So you just, when you get these, if you win them in the fight or in the challenge, you set that aside and you add it to your total score at the end. All right. Last thing, and then I promise we'll get started. The version I play, which is the Labyrinth of Skulls, the larger goal is you're trying to find the cards, the star, the moon, and the sun. Those are your heavenly gems, and if you get all 3 of them and can get out of the dungeon, you like win the game. The way that my partner and I play it is sort of house rules. If you get out of the dungeon alive, you win, but to like properly win in the game, you have to get all 3 gems. So I'll leave it up to you if you play this, how you decide. But in the rule book, the gems are worth 20 points. So basically, when my partner and I play, we just try and beat our previous scores. And when you get all 3 heavenly gems, that's 60 points. No, lies. Yeah, 20, 40, 60. That's 60 points right off the bat. Okay. And then as we pull the other major arcana cards, they'll come up. Is there anything else I should say before we get started? Okay, wait, there is one more thing. The Devil and the Death card are threats. I think they have a special name. Yeah, foul, rotting, and demonic possession. They're called corruption cards. So here's death. Oh man, where's the devil card? I just saw it. Anyway, the death card is foul, rotting, and you've been infected with something that's slowly rotting you away. And the devil card is demonic possession. Here it is. And you have this like shadowy demon trying to possess you and take you over. If you draw one of these corruption cards, it hangs out at the top of your play space. And you're like, oh dear, I need to figure out how to get rid of that, because if you draw the second one, you die instantly. Or you go mad and get lost in the dungeon, I think. So, there are ways to dispel them, but if you have one, there's always the threat of the second one in there, and you can get dead very quickly. So let's see how we do. Sometimes I don't know what the like percent win is for this game, because there is some strategy involved. It's not like some solitaire games where it's like mostly chance, but the shuffle is a chance. So I'm gonna shuffle it up and just show you how the playthrough works. Now that I've talked at you for almost 15 minutes about the rules. Hopefully you stuck with me, because when I explained this game to my parents, they were like, and why do you think cribbage is like hard? Because that's one of their favorite games. When you're explaining this nutty game to us, we don't think this is going to be fun or easy. But once we got going, they were like, okay, it's fine. Also, I mostly just didn't want to play cribbage as a kid. Maybe I should go back and learn it now. Don't tell them I said that. Okay. So you shuffle up your deck. You will have the draw pile and then a discard pile. The way that you go through it is on your play space, you sort of go down deeper into the dungeon, either left to right or right to left, and then you climb back out of the dungeon. I like to go from right to left to start and then exit the dungeon from left to right, but there's no reason or rhyme or reason. Okay, So my first card is the Page of Swords. This is a companion that gives me +1 to fighting monsters. If I win my challenge, they will join my party. So I am entering the first level of the dungeon. The High Priestess is my challenge. It is the 2 of Mazes because it is one of the 2 to 10 major arcana cards. So I am facing the 2 of Mazes. To defeat a card in this game, you have to get a higher number that isn't a special card. So, and meets beats. So the moon is a heavenly gem. This is a thing to win. The 5. So 5 beats 2. This is the 5 of doors. It doesn't matter which suit is beating your challenge card. Just that it's the same or higher number. So the way you then do this is you take the 2 things you've won. So I've won my heavenly gem, the moon, for 20 points, and my companion, the Page of Swords. I set those aside. I have my member of my party and my treasures. And I flip these 2 over as the first level of the dungeon. And I then move to the second level of the dungeon. No, okay, so I've drawn a corruption card, death, which means I have begun rotting from a disease. And I'm going to set that up here. It's going to be a little bit out of frame for you all. And I have to not forget that that's there threatening my life. 6 of Pentacles. So this is the 6 of traps. I could win 6 points, but if I draw something less than 6, I am injured by 6. Or by whatever it's not actually 6, it's whatever the difference is. You'll see. I drew the 7, so it's above, so it beats. Now, you have to leave something here to mark your dungeon. So I choose which treasure I want to keep here. I'm going to keep the 7 over the 6. So I'm going to flip over the 6 of traps and leave it there. And I add this to my treasure. And deeper into the dungeon I go. You, as the player, decide when you turn around. And this is where a lot of people playing are like, how many floors down do I need to go before I find all 3 heavenly gems? And my partner and I just go until we're like, I don't think we're going to survive. If we keep going, we're going to turn around. The Tower. So this card means a cave-in happens. If you have any companions, which I do, the first, like the oldest companion you have, or the one on the left, is killed. So sadly, my Page of Swords is discarded in the discard pile, which is out of frame. But I'll just pull my little thing over here. It's my draw pile and discard pile are here out of frame. Excuse me. And if you had a big stack of discards, you would shuffle them up and put them on the top of the deck because of the cave-ins, rearranging your path. But I don't have any discards, except for the page that I just discarded. So, but that's actually not my challenge. So next, I'm dead. The devil. So I got these 2. I didn't have a way to fight them off yet, and I'm dead. That was a very fast, sad playthrough. So I'm going to shuffle and do it again. So sometimes it doesn't work out and you get forever buried or lost in the dungeon. I didn't even draw torches or anything. And I got my little companion killed. So as you can see, as you play, if you want to role play the story a little bit, you definitely can. Also, I encourage you, if you want to watch more playthroughs of this game, Matthew Lowe's has on their channel a couple of playthroughs at the different levels of difficulty. Oops. Okay. So let's try again. Sorry for the shaky camera. Okay, the World card is my first card. This is a special card, and if I had it in the last game, I wouldn't have died. It's called the Blessing of the High Goddess. This card you can just instantly take and set it aside to use to beat something horrible that happens to you. Whenever you play a blessing, you dispel any corruption card if it's sitting up there. So I'm going to set that aside. The 6 of Pentacles, so 6 of Traps, 9 of Pentacles. I beat it, and I keep the 9 of Coins for me. 6 of Swords, so that's the 6 of Monsters. The King of Wands, that's like a treasure hoard, 10 points that I can win if I beat this monster. The Page of Wands, a companion that could join me if I beat this challenge. Oh no! But I did not beat it. Although, I still have to fight it. So, my first swing is a miss. 2 versus 6, 2 loses. So, I take the difference in damage. So, I take 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I am at 6. The Lovers, 6 meets beats. This is the 6 of Mazes, but it beats the 6 of Monsters. And I get to keep the Kingly Hoard. And the Page Companion joins my party. And then these 3 stay, and I flip over. So that's the second floor of the dungeon. Queen of Swords. So she's an insta-win. Whatever I draw as my challenge, I will beat automatically. The Tower. Ah, man. That still kills my page that I just got. The Emperor is my challenge. It's the 4 of Mazes. The Queen beats it. So that's it for that. The reason you still play to find out if you have a challenge is you could get treasure. And whatever challenge comes up, you eliminate it, so it doesn't come up later and cause problems for you. The Fool is the Scroll of Light. This is a card, if you can win it, you can use it to relight a torch if a torch goes out. I haven't lost any torches yet. I say that, and then I drew the Ace of Pentacles. So one of my 4 torches has blown out. You set that up at the top where you put corruption cards if you draw them, as the reminder that you were counting down. Okay, the 9 of Doors. That's a very hard challenge. And with doors, if you can't open it on the first try, you're done. You don't get to fight it over and over like the monsters. So I need something that is a 9 or better to get the Fool. Judgment is a potion of prescience for telling the future. So that's something to win. Knight of Wands is a skill. So this is +1 to doors. So if I get an 8, I could still use this and win. So you set this down here. Temperance is a potion of healing. Something else to win. Oh my gosh, the King of Swords is 10 points. This is just taunting me with all of these things that would be locked behind the door if I failed to beat the maze. And I did fail to beat it. I got a 3. And there's no reason to waste my knight because a 4 doesn't beat the 9 either. So now, with the door slamming on me or not opening for me, I have to discard everything that I could have won behind the door. And I then discard from my draw pile the difference. So 6 cards because this is the 3 that fails to beat the 9. So that whole floor is slammed on me, and then I must discard 6 cards. I have to look at them as I draw them because they could be aces or devil or death. So I lose a queen. I get rid of the 9 of Swords. I get rid of the 10 of Swords. I lose the Magician, who is a friend you can get. I lose another queen. Oh no, and I lost the Heavenly Gem. There are ways to get things out of the discard pile. So sometimes people would still play. But if you are like, I have to get all 3 heavenly gems to win, it's really hard if it ends up in the discard pile. So those are what I've discarded. But like I said, I play for points. So I'm going to go down one more floor and then walk out so that this video is not too long and you can sort of see. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll die. But you can see how the game sort of continues. So the 2 of Wands is my next challenge. And the Chariot is the 7 of Mazes that beats it. So that was a simple floor. I'm now going to go back out. So I go up to this floor again and up, up, up. So you next draw underneath the 7 of Traps. The Hermit, which is the 9 of Mazes. That beats it. I'm going to keep the coins, put that in my treasure, and flip this over. The Hierophant. So this is the 5 of Mazes. If you fail on the first draw to beat this challenge, you're then lost in the maze, and you have to keep drawing until you beat it, but you lose anything that you draw that's treasure, and you slowly get damaged as you try to defeat it. So, that's a 5. And I beat with the 8 of Mazes. So, lucky me, I keep going. 8 of Wands. Justice. So this is the Potion of Strength. This is a potion to win. And again, I'm playing by the numbers. So 11 is the Potion of Strength. So if you have a deck where Strength's at 11, it kind of makes more sense. But I play, you know, the numbers like the rule book says, which is 2 to 10 for the majors are the mazes. So that's why Strength was the 8 of Mazes instead of the Potion of Strength. And 11 is the Potion of Strength. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. I know I should have picked a deck that had Strength at 11 to help that make more sense. But anyway, I'm still trying to beat an 8. This is a skill towards traps, so I keep that. King, so these are 10 points I could win. Oh no, and I, of course, failed again versus the 8. I drew a 2, so I must discard 6 cards again. So everything stays underneath. And my deck's getting kind of slim here, so I know the Devil and the Death and the Aces are waiting for me. The Star, another heavenly gem discarded. The Moon, no, another one discarded. I lost all of them. I don't think I got a single one. That is sad. The Devil. Okay, so this sits up here to threaten me. The 5 of Swords is discarded. The Page is discarded. And that was 5, right? 7 of Wands is discarded. All right, last level of the maze. Let's shift everybody over a little bit. So, not the maze, the dungeon. Once you get back up to here, you play it. And then if you succeed on this level, you are free and you have left the dungeon. Then you add up your points. And then, of course, you determine, since you didn't get all of the heavenly gems, do you even win? So my challenge is the 3 of Swords, which is the 3 of Monsters. I have a page. Another ace has blown out. So right now I'm sitting with 2 aces and the Devil up here at the top. And the 4 of Swords. So the 4 beats the 3. The page, a companion, joins my party. And I am out of the dungeon. So I escaped the dungeon with 2 torches, 6 of health, and now I add up my loot. I don't think the companions count for anything. The skills don't. Oh, and I could have used the blessing to instantly win something, but I forgot to use it. I usually like to wait and use it for when I actually have a corruption card threatening me, because when you use it you can dispel one, and I don't like to spend those willy-nilly. But I could have used it to like beat the door that was challenging the 9 or whatever to get more points. So this is kind of a paltry amount here, which is I think only 26. No, 20, yeah, 26 points. That's real bad. I think like the high end we've gotten like 80 points. I'll have to look in the rules and see what the highest is. But that is the idea of the game. Feel free to ask follow-up questions down below if you have any. And like I said, all of the majors have, which some of them came up in the rules, they all have special roles, like the tower is shifting terrain, the heavenly gems are the star, moon, and sun, the potion of healing is temperance, that kind of thing. So that's in the rule book on what all of those do. And the last thing I'll say is if you play co-op, each person would have a tarot deck. One person would sit down here and draw going into the dungeon, and the person cross or perpendicular would draw and go down. And you are allowed to help if you play it co-op, or you are allowed to compete to try and get the most points as you play. If you help, basically when a person runs into trouble and they're like, oh my gosh, this fight against this monster could kill me, or I have almost all my torches burned out and I'm afraid to draw and discard a bunch of cards, you then play on your level, the same matching level for them, and see if your numbers that you draw beat the challenge that they have. So if you want to see a playthrough of co-op or a playthrough of competitive, let me know and I'll try and convince my partner to play, because I also I failed the first run, and then the second one I got a really poor score. So that wasn't the most exciting adventure in the dungeon. I will link to Matthew Lowe's website where you can get the rules, and to Matthew's channel so you can watch some additional playthroughs at the basic, expert, and advanced rules. I think they're called the expert rules, the medium level rules, because it uses a standard tarot deck. I hope you enjoyed and you try out this game in these cold winter months if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And I hope you enjoyed. Take care.